There was one single flickering light illuminating the cracked glass door that said, Healthy Co. I pulled the note from my pocket that had gotten soaked from the rain. Although the letters were smudged and nearly illegible, the name appeared to match. I opened the door, and the terrible shriek from the hinges sounded like a cacophony of wailing demons begging for a chance to breathe cool air. Each step I took up the dark and damp stairwell creaked and sagged under my feet, creating uncertainty as to whether the integrity of the stairs would bear my weight. I grabbed the stair rail, which was little more than brittle dry rot, and the moment I used it for support, my hand broke through the wood, sending my shins crashing into the edge of the steps. Not 30 seconds into my new job, and it was already kicking my ass. Cautiously, I proceeded up the stairs, looking above my head to make sure no mysterious light fixtures would fall from the ceiling to finish me off before getting to my desk. A note I had received said there would be 2 doors at the end of the hallway on either side of an additional staircase. It explicitly said, use the door to the right side of the stairs. You are welcome to use the left one, but please note that if you should choose to use the left one, you will need to go back to the bottom of the stairs and start the process over again. Under no circumstances are you to go up the stairs between the 2 doors. In front of me was the next set of stairs and a door to the right, but no door to the left. I went for the handle, and as soon as I gave it a pull, it came straight out of the door. As if first days weren't hard enough, I was sure to have my wages garnished before sitting down formed the destruction already left in my wake. The tension in my neck grew stiff as I knocked on the door with the handle in my hand, a puddle accumulating at my feet from my drenched clothes. I knocked again. No answer. I looked at my watch. I was officially late. Looking at my note again, more smudged than the last time, I began to wonder if I was even in the right place. I knocked one more time. Nothing. After waiting a few more minutes, I decided to cut my losses, but the moment I turned to walk away, the door opened. Mr. Davis? Asked the man who opened the door. Yes, I'm here for the job. I extended my hand. Ah yes, Mr. Davis. We've been waiting for you. The name is Callahan. You're late. Why are you late? Your note should have said to be here at 8 p.m. and it's 8:07. Did your note not say to be here at 8 p.m.? Callahan left my hand hanging in the air. I do apologize, sir. I've been knocking for the past 10 minutes. The handle came off. When I tried to open it, I wasn't sure if I was even in the right spot. The note said there would be 2 doors. And yes, the door, Callahan said. Sometimes the left door decides to be there. Sometimes it decides not to be there. It's the damnedest thing. That's alright though. We prefer to use the right door for budgeting reasons. Yeah, I've never enjoyed left doors anyway, I said. The joke didn't land, the man meeting me with an empty gaze. Anyway, I apologize for the door handle. It's great to meet you. I extended my hand again. Sorry, Mr. Davis, Callahan said. It's currently 8:09, and employees aren't permitted to shake hands until 8:32. New policy from the people upstairs. I pocketed my hand in discomfiture. Alright then, Davis, let's get you inside. We are already behind, and the office is up to their eyeballs in reports. The office was ice cold with a stiff breeze from the 15 different fans oscillating around the room. The barren walls were chalk white and amplified the intense light cast from the 30 or more fixtures hanging from the ceiling. Far too many fixtures for such a small space. Callahan, who I could only assume was my boss, led me through the office. People were scurrying between the cubicles, keyboards were clacking, bells and chimes were constantly going off. It was a zoo. Callahan showed me to my desk. Alright, Davis, Callahan said. This is where you'll sit. You'll see 2 stacks of papers. The stack to the left are the reports that need to be turned in by midnight. The other stack must be turned in no later than 12:19. The trick is to not spend too much time on the reports due by midnight, otherwise you won't have enough time to complete the reports due by 12:19. Very simple. Any questions? If questions could be a living, breathing object, I had just found the beating heart of questions. It felt like I fell off a roof made of questions and landed 3 stories down on a pile of confusion and uncertainty. Yes, I have a few questions. Of course, let them fly, Callahan said. First of all, I'm not exactly sure what to do. The phone rang. It was the loudest ringer I had ever heard, so loud I could feel it in my ribs. Excuse me, sorry, Callahan said. That must be the people upstairs. He answered the phone. Yes, certainly. He looked at me. Davis, the people upstairs want to know why you didn't see the left door before coming inside. I was perplexed as Callahan stared at me, waiting for a response, his eyes wide, the phone tucked between his neck and shoulder. I'm not sure what you mean. It just wasn't there, I said. Of course. Hold on a moment, Davis. Callahan brought the phone back to his ear. Davis says it just wasn't there. Yes, of course, will do. Callahan hung up the phone. That was the people upstairs. They're going to need a detailed report on why you didn't see the door. Yes, but about these reports. These reports are extremely critical, Davis. We don't want to keep the people upstairs waiting. If you have any more questions, I'll be in my office. Callahan hurried off, leaving me and my tome of questions behind. My senses were hyper-focused on the peculiar nature of the office. As I tried making sense of the strange happenings around me, I took a seat to catch my breath and thumbed through the neat stack of reports by my side. As soon as I disturbed the tightly stacked papers, the wind from one of the many fans scattered throughout the office sent multiple sheets sailing to the floor. When I went to pick them up, my desk phone rang. Hello, I said. Davis. Yes, this is he. Davis, it's Callahan, your boss. I was the one who showed you to your desk after you came in through the right door. Remember? Yes, I remember. The people from upstairs just called. They want to know the status of your reports. Sir, I literally just sat down. I haven't even had a chance to. Very well then, Davis. You're doing a great job. Just make sure you turn in your reports. The people upstairs were asking where your reports are. Callahan ended the call. I spent a moment staring at the phone, its dial tone ringing through my ears. I was unsure what to do. Never had I gone into a new job with such little direction. I scanned the room looking for one person to lock eyes with, hoping to receive a welcome invitation to ask for help. Everyone had their faces buried in their desks, vigorously filling out their reports. If they weren't filling out reports, they were transporting the reports. I gave my reports a cursory glance, but none of it made sense. They were full of nonsensical questions, some looking like they were written in a foreign language I had never seen. I spent 15 minutes trying to decipher the code, but there appeared to be no rhyme or reasons to their format. I picked up my pencil to complete what I could, which at that time was writing my name at the top of the report. The moment I put the graphite to paper, the lead snapped. I turned to the man sitting behind me. His tie was loosened around his sweat-stained collar, his hair disheveled. His eyes were as wide as could be, and his exposed teeth grinded together so intensely I could hear the crackling from his mouth. Excuse me, I said to him, my words giving him quite the startle. Do you know where I can find a pencil sharpener? The man studied me for an uncomfortable duration of time. What happened? He asked. I broke my pencil. The man slapped his desk, making me recoil back into my chair. He covered his mouth with both hands, his breath squealing as it passed through the tight seal around his lips. He erupted with laughter and stood up to address the office. Hey everyone, the new guy just broke his pencil. The entire office broke out in a mania, laughing hysterically at me. People were keeling over at their desks, fighting for air through the hilarity. Others rolled on the ground, clutching their stomachs, cackling at my expense. My face turned beet red. The phone rang. When I picked it up, it was Callahan laughing in my ear. I could see him through the glass door to his office, partaking in the amusement. I spun around to see everyone staring at me, pointing. Through the entrance, two burly men wearing back braces came barreling through the door, carrying a single pencil, as if they were carrying an awkward 150-pound table. They set the pencil on my desk, beads of sweat from their brow falling right next to it. One of them pulled a booklet from their back pocket, scribbled on a leaflet, and set it on my desk. It was a moving fee for $35. Before I had the chance to comprehend the situation, they were already out the door. I sat back in my chair, and as soon as I did, a bell went off in the office. Everyone in the office immediately stopped laughing and said, "Well, that's the bell." They started shaking hands, chuckling and exchanging good jobs and pats on the back, then sat back down to fill out more reports. Callahan came slithering out of his office. Damn it, Davis, I just got a call from the people upstairs. Why didn't you say, "Well, that's the bell," when the bell went off? When the bell goes off, the people upstairs want you to say, "Well, that's the bell," and share a chuckle with your peers, maybe shake a hand or two. All due respect, sir, why do we have to say that? I said. The entire office gasped and became frozen in time, a thick layer of debilitating silence coating the room. Nobody knew what to do or what to say. All eyes were on Callahan awaiting his response. A man from across the office stood up from his desk. The new guy has a point. Why do we need to say that? What's wrong with you, Jennings? Callahan said to the man. I expect questions like that from the new guy, but not a veteran like you. You know damn well why we need to say, well, that's the bell. When the bell goes off, the phone rang. Callahan picked up. Everyone quiet down. Yes, I understand. Of course, Jennings, that was the people upstairs. You've been terminated. 6 men burst through the door, the right one to be specific. The left door had yet to appear. Everyone in the office immediately sat back at their desks and paid no attention to the men stomping their way toward Jennings' desk. Their footsteps were thunderous, and their march was uniform, causing the supplies on everyone's desk to quake. The men were nearly faceless entities having no ears, noses, or mouths. All they had was neatly cut hair and yellow eyes surrounded by gray, lifeless skin. I couldn't help but observe the intrusion. They surrounded Jennings, grabbing his arms and legs, lifting him from the floor. Jennings screamed and cried while the large men manhandled his writhing body. He pleaded and apologized, but his efforts fell on deaf ears, or in this case, no ears at all. In the matter of 40 seconds, Jennings and all his belongings were gone. I turned to the man sitting behind me, the one who turned me into a laughingstock after breaking my pencil. What the hell was that all about? What was it all about? He said. That Jennings guy. Did you not see what I just saw? Jennings. I don't recall a Jennings. The man stood up and called out, does anyone know a Jennings? The office turned into a quiet forum. The name Jennings floated through the air posed as a question. It was as if Jennings was wiped clean from existence. Callahan came out of his office and headed straight towards my desk with a towering stack of papers in his hands. Davis, due to unforeseen circumstances, it appears we are understaffed. I'm going to need you to fill out some extra reports. My head began to feel full, and the room started to teeter. The gnawing tightness in my chest delivered a dull pain down my left arm. I loosened my tie to get as much oxygen as possible. Excuse me, I said to the man behind me. How exactly do I fill out these reports? I'm getting slammed over here, and have no idea what I'm doing. The man slammed his pencil on his desk, and took a deep breath before looking at me. Just fill them out however you want. What do you mean? Holy hell, guy. Pick up the report. Pick up your pencil. Fill it out. Do it however you want. The condescension in his delivery made my chest tighter. Can I just look at one of yours? I asked, shaking his head at me. The man grabbed one of his finished reports and passed it over the cubicle. The entire report was nothing but scribbles. Complete nothingness. I peeked over the cube at the rest of his reports and saw that each one was filled out with squiggly lines and doodles. I slumped in my chair and started pulling at my hair. Callahan came out of his office once again, and my breathing stopped. He stopped at the desk of the man behind me and picked up his reports. These reports are utterly fantastic, Callahan said. Maybe the best reports I've ever seen. You're going to have a long, lucrative career here. Callahan looked at me. Davis, how are the reports coming along? The bell rang. The entire office stopped what they were doing. Well, that's the bell, they all said. The phone rang. Callahan picked up. Davis, it's the people upstairs. They want to know why you didn't say. I slammed my hands on the desk and rose to my feet in an instant. My heart sounded like a drunken drum circle. I was in a madhouse. What? They want to know why I didn't say what, Callahan? That the bell rang. I'll tell you why. It's because it's stupid. Everything you've asked me to do since the moment I got here has been stupid. Complete lunacy. Screw you. Screw the people upstairs. Screw this job. I quit. The phone rang again. Davis, it's the people upstairs. They want to know. I don't care what they want to know. You know what? I'm going to go up there to talk to them right now. While walking to the door, Callahan requested I filled out a report requesting to meet with the people upstairs, to which I responded with a stout middle finger. I walked straight out the right door, the left one still missing, though I had grown curious as to when it would appear. Standing out in the hall, I looked up at the staircase. It looked darker than before. Each step I took going up felt like the temperature dropped 10 degrees. At the top was a gold-plated door. I wake up screaming, soaked in sweat every night, having to relive this awful reoccurring nightmare. Each time I cross over into sleep, the dream starts again. The images behind that gold-plated door have burned themselves into my brain, casting themselves with brilliance every time I close my eyes. In the dream, when I open the door, these terrible people strip me of my being, my personality, and soul. They steal my identity in the most brutal and agonizing murder of my self-worth. I lay there on the floor naked and afraid, unable to remember my own name. I've been having this dream every night for the past 3 weeks since murdering my boss. It wasn't her fault. I work so damn hard every day, putting in 50 or 60 hours a week just to come home hungry to my dump of an apartment and an empty refrigerator to remind me that 60-hour work weeks aren't enough for food and shelter. Life has gotten too hard and I just snapped. They still don't know who did it. The guilt I feel is crippling. I desperately need a therapist who can keep a secret. Lately, the people upstairs have been bleeding into my waking moments to where I often don't know if I'm awake or sleeping. They are constantly lurking over me, waiting to eat my last bit of self.